What's up guys, welcome back to a new record of Ragnarok / Shimetsu no Valkyrie chapter review. Today we have chapter 37 as a whole. Pretty decent chapter, not the best. We got a little bit of fighting between Shiva and Raiden near the end of the fight, but most of the chapter, like last chapter, was Shiva's backstory in the India and all that. If you haven't already and you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and all that good shit. And I'm planning to do some what if battles in the record of Ragnarok verse. For example, Blue versus Hercules will most likely be my first what if battle I plan to do. I made a community post on the channel for everyone to, let me know some wanted matchups and all that good shit. But yep, on to the review. So the chapter title is The Summit of India, with the first like 80% of the chapter really being Shiva and his best friend trying to, get to the top of India, become, the supreme gods of India by, climbing the pretty much mountain in India and defeating all the other higher class gods. With the start of their journey really being them getting put down by various other people and being called idiots, a pair of idiots that would challenge the summit of kingdom of gods of India. Look, destruction and storm, that's what these two mad lads are the gods of. However, they started to advance up the mountain, leaving, dead bodies, destroyed people in the background of their, destruction, what they're doing, and people started to support them, saying that they really are powerful and they may actually do this. I say maybe, just maybe, you can really rise to the kingdom of the gods of India, the summit, and contempt into hope. There was rising and rising, the two advanced, making progress. Lord of Devils, defeating various other Indian gods. The great Aphesis, he who defeated death, all these other crazy Indian gods. I'm not going to, try and pronounce half the names because, I can't fucking even attempt half of these. Defeating god after god. You can see them getting injured on the way, but they seem to be pretty confident in all the gods they're defeating. They just keep defeating more and more gods until they get to, the top tier of the top tier, such as Arjun, another top tier god. The fight's getting tougher and tougher, with them rising to the top of India, facing the god of lightning Indra, winning against him as well. And most likely, like we got for the Blue spin-off, we may get a spin-off for this, actually fleshing out all the fights that these two go through, maybe another spin-off manga. So that's my, little opinion and what we've got here. They were able to defeat a total of 1,115 gods and become the, supreme gods at the top of the summit of the gods of India, Shiva and Rudra, absolute mad lads, rising to the summit of the kingdom of the gods of India, and they were able to defeat all the gods and rise to the top. But an issue that occurred when rising to the top, and that's how only really one person can be the, supreme god, can be the leader. So of course, these two needed to fight at the top as well. Shiva, crying, not wanting to fight, saying, I didn't want to do this. I was thinking this would happen, but no, we have to find out another way to do this. We can't fight. Shiva crying, that shonen protagonist energy growing on him every chapter. I guess there's no other way, getting ready to fight. Shall we dance all night with all our strength? These two still injured from all 1,000 plus fights they've done prior to this, but they're gonna go right into each other and fight to pretty much someone wins. We get to see them punching each other back and forth. It seems to be pretty equal. One goes for a punch, the other goes for a punch. They headbutt each other at the same time. They both go flying back, with the sound of the fight resonating throughout India. The sweat that flowed turning into heavy rain. Both Shiva as well as Rudra enthralled themselves at the peak while causing pain to each other, fighting for days, with Shiva being able to knock his friend down, telling him don't get up anymore. Rudra, pleading him to stop fighting, because it may be pretty obvious that Shiva is a little bit stronger than his friend, and he kind of starts to feel bad, even though he kind of did all this for his friend, didn't really have his own ideals, and was only kind of following his friend. His friend, giving everything he has. I'm just getting started, when he's clearly on, the brink of death. Please just stop attacking. They keep going. Shiva, keeps destroying him over and over. Don't get up, I beg you. Don't get up anymore, Rudra. At this rate, you're going to die. And his friend decides not to care and continues to fight. I have a dream, Shiva. I want to stand at the peak of the kingdom of gods of India. Shiva, right. You're an interesting guy. I'm Rudra, god of storms. becomes Rudra. And once Shiva hears his friend pleading and, going over his dream again, Shiva decides to give up and says, "It's my loss." But his friend doesn't take it, saying, "What are you saying?" Starts screaming, "Because listen, Shiva, you must go with all your strength until the end, until your strength is exhausted. In a fight to the death, having your opponent hold back on you is even worse than dying." Shiva, starts crying again, talks about his dream. "Idiot, don't cry, it's real. You are on the summit of 1,116 gods, and his friend has admitted defeat, and Shiva is now pretty much the supreme god of India." With his friend disappearing from the kingdom of India, and Shiva stood atop the gods, with all the gods supporting Shiva and his overwhelming power. And then after the backstory, it cuts to the fight. I believe that's the end of the backstory, and most likely now for the next chapter or next couple chapters, we may just get the fight, and the end of the fight maybe around chapter 40. But there you go, the headbutt of these two landing on each other, blood going everywhere. I carry on my back the hope of 1,116 gods. I won't lose, not to you or not to anyone else. Right, Rudra, if I stopped here, you would be utterly enraged, showing that he still supports his friend and that he's not really here for his own personal reasons, that he's here to support all the Indian gods. And then we get to see various Indian gods that he and his friend defeated on the way to the top. So we get to see his friend as well, Rudra. So most likely Shiva hasn't seen him since that big battle they had, and Shiva becoming, the supreme god of India. So most likely after the fight, Shiva may see his friend again. We get to see him looking very badass in this. That's pretty cool to see. We get to see all the other various gods such as Indra, Agni, and the others they defeated on their way to the top. Got them talking, showing how he may be he may be reckless while he fights, but he's still our leader and still the one at the top. That's Shiva, but he's real stubborn, that guy. No matter how many times I hit him, he just kept laughing. And he can't adjust, an idiot, I tell you. But apart from all these issues with Shiva, they all support him and are rooting for him to win. With the final panel showing smiling Shiva, blood dripping off his forehead from the headbutts, but he's ready to go. And I really don't see any way Shiva's going to lose this. His backstory was a lot longer, a lot more fleshed out and more shown than what Raiden's backstory was, unless we get more for the sumo dude in the coming chapters. But I don't think we will. And with everything we've seen, the way Shiva has been cucked, the emotion behind his fighting, why he's fighting, and everything regarding that, I think Shiva will very well win this fight. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this fight so far. Let me know what you think of Shiva's backstory. Do you want to see a spin-off manga going in more depth of all their fights and everything that happened with that? That would be probably cool, similar to what they're doing for Lu Blue right now. But yeah, very high, very high. Hope you enjoyed today's review. If you did, make sure to subscribe, join the Discord and all the other good shit. And yep, that's it guys. Peace.